Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. I'm Keishla Adderley. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news tonight, Governor General His Excellency Sir Arthur Foulkes is hospitalized tonight and will spend at least the next 24 hours in hospital, according to relatives. Sir Arthur was rushed to hospital at his doctor's hospital after falling ill during the funeral service of Canon Neil Roach. Relatives told us today that the 83-year-old Governor General is in stable condition and is alert and resting comfortably. Doctors were said to have run a series of tests today, and they continue to monitor the Governor General. The Cabinet Office released a statement this afternoon on Sir Arthur's condition. The statement says Governor General of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Sir Arthur Foulkes, was admitted to Doctors Hospital this afternoon after feeling unwell during today's funeral service for Canon Neil Roach. Sir Arthur was examined and underwent a series of diagnostic tests and is now resting comfortably and is likely to be discharged after a brief period of observation. The statement concludes that the Governor General is in good spirit and is looking forward to returning home to enjoy the Christmas holidays. Well, Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham says he continues to be inspired by the generosity of Bahamians who, notwithstanding the most severe economic downturn in recent memory, continue to make Christmas a season marked by a spirit of generosity and sharing. In his annual Christmas address, Mr. Ingraham said his government has taken care to manage our economy prudently and sensibly so as to ensure that we are well positioned to benefit from global recovery as it occurs. This prudence, he said, has enabled us to preserve jobs in the public service and to avoid salary cuts or layoffs within the public sector, as experienced in many developed and developing countries. The Prime Minister also expressed his pleasure that the extensive program of public infrastructural renewal and upgrade, particularly in New Providence but also in our Family Islands, is progressing well. The New Providence Road and Utility Project will be completed in July of next year, he says, and in the meantime, all roads under construction in New Providence are open and drivable this Christmas season. Mr. Ingraham also highlighted the construction of the new cargo port at Arawak Key and its related inland storage depot, which permits the revitalization of this historic city of Nassau to take shape. Also taking the Prime Minister's attention was crime. Mr. Ingraham said his government continues to be troubled by the persistence of violent crime, which mars the lives of too many of our people, especially here in New Providence. Also highlighted were Hurricane Irene's battering of the Bahamas and job training. Now you can hear the Prime Minister's address in its entirety immediately following this newscast at 8 p.m. Tourists and residents may have their holiday travel plans disrupted. That's because customs and immigration officers walked off their jobs this morning, threatening to, quote, shut the country down, end quote, over what they say is an ongoing trade dispute. Fern Carey has details.
All we want them to do is honor what they're supposed to do. Sign the document, give it to us. We'll sit down and talk.
That document is a strike vote certificate that Vice President of the Customs, Immigration and Allied Workers Union, Sloan Smith, claims Labor Minister Dion Foulkes has not signed. That signature is necessary, according to Smith, because it paves the way for the union to sit down at the bargaining table and discuss some 15 outstanding issues in their industrial agreement. Apparently fed up by the delay, disgruntled customs and immigration officers gathered at the main post office on East Hill Street with placards in hand to air their concerns. Smith says customs officers work hard to collect revenue and they believe they are not being treated fairly.
We have a contract in terms of our salaries, and that contract says what your rate of pay is. So they can't on one hand charge the operators this, require you to work and then pay you less. Obviously what you're supposed to be paid is much more than this, and give you a flat rate. That simply is unjust, it's unfair, and it's unethical.
The reported move to celebrate Christmas and Boxing Day as one day is also not sitting well with the union.
That the government owes us another day.
That's right. Again?
Again? They owe us another day, or they need to pay the staff who's going to show up on Sunday. Knowing full well their position is not to pay the staff on Sunday, we're going to suggest to you that you are not to be forced to work on Sunday or Monday against the law.
That's right.
That's your free time. Let the airport be on automatic. Let the dock be on automatic. And let's just settle this once and for all.
The union also threatened to shut down operations at the major ports of entry.
We have instructed our members, if they're not paying you the way they should be paying you and they owe you a day, do not be out there on Sunday. Do not be out there on Monday. And that's docks, airport, harbors, family islands.
Following the meeting, the Customs and Immigration officers then took their Christmas half-day. Up to news time, we were unable to reach Minister Folks or Labor Director Harcourt Brown. Meantime, Customs and Immigration officers say they will intensify their efforts and they'll meet here at the East Hill Post Office every day until the Labor Minister signs his strike certificate. Fern Carey, ZNS News.
Now, ZNS News tried to reach Labor Minister Dion Folks for comment, but our calls were not returned up to news time. The nation's #1 industry showing positive signs, according to preliminary statistics released by the Bahamas Hotel Association and the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation. The 14 major New Providence hotels recorded a 63.9% occupancy rate for November compared to just 55% last year. Room nights sold increased 14.1% and hotel room revenue by 16.2%. There was also a 3.69% increase in the average daily room rate. The November 2011 average daily room rate was $201.23 compared to $197.54 for November 2010. Available room nights remained unchanged compared to 2010. There was a solid to outstanding performance in 3 key business metrics: room nights sold, average daily room rates, and revenue. 11 of the 14 hotels found increased revenues in November 2011, with 8 registering double-digit increases, according to Bahamas Hotel Association President Stuart Bowe. The industry increases were attributed primarily to group and convention business, and according to Bowe, an added focus on sports tourism, special events, and strong promotions by the Ministry of Tourism and Aviation. That would include the hugely successful Companion Fly Free program. Police are determined to ensure the safety of residents this holiday season, and to prove their commitment, they went on a special patrol throughout the capital. Shanique Miller reports on what they discovered.
Christmas is the busiest time of the year. Long lines of traffic going nowhere fast. Long lines in shopping malls and members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Bold, forceful, determined that with so much going on, crime will not be a part of the action. During times like Christmas, mischief makers count on the fact that police are too busy to keep tabs on them. Well, 2 men would find out that the police aren't letting their guard down. Instead, officers from various divisions across the capital are putting in extra hours to keep order and ensure that violators are caught. Members of the Crime Prevention Office led the media on a drive-along in the capital last night. They left no area untouched. Even the most socially challenging areas were targeted. One of those areas that has proven challenging for the past 2 years, the Southeast, Pinewood Gardens and its surrounding communities. Officer in charge of the Southeastern Division, Superintendent Theophilus Cunningham, worked hard in 2011 to break this trend.
We realized that during this time of the year, a number of robbers and thieves normally attempt to prey on the various business sectors. Therefore, we have strengthened our patrols. This high visibility and police presence is definitely a crime prevention tool. It's a key component in our crime prevention strategies.
The police and media convoy drove until they reached the Eastern Division, which includes Fox Hill, where crime reared its ugly head so many times this year. Officer in charge is Melda Davis.
For the last 6 weeks we started our special duty patrols starting out in Blair. The Eastern community is a unique community in that we have the Eastern Community Association. We've partnered with them, and so with all of our crime watch groups, they're on high alert and they're patrolling, checking their residents and all of that, and coupled with the police officers during the day in the afternoons, and so we hope that we will have a safe holiday.
Superintendent David Delaveau of the Southern Division has similar programs going on. Like the other divisions, Deveau is driven by a desire to keep communities in his division safe. He welcomed the police drive-about Thursday night.
Right now, we have lots of persons who commit various offenses, and we are here to ensure that we apprehend those persons, most importantly, prevent those from happening.
The police had a very taxing year with 122 murders on record outside of a host of other serious crimes. Superintendent Stephen Dean and his crime prevention team, as well as officers the country over, have pledged to up their game, enhance strategies, and keep crime at a minimum in 2012. Shanique Miller, ZNS News.
24-year-old Hope Gardens resident DeAnton Burrows is behind bars tonight, awaiting trial for allegedly killing 35-year-old Sherrick Roll back on November 25th. Roll was reportedly at Junkanoo practice on Saxon's Way, Mason's Addition, when he was approached by a male wearing a brown hooded jacket, armed with a handgun, who shot him multiple times. Roll died from his injuries in hospital. Burrows was also charged with possession of an unlicensed 9mm Glock pistol. He was not required to plead to either charge. A voluntary bill of indictment will be filed. The case has been adjourned to February 23rd of next year. Police have charged 39-year-old Gilbert Roll with the attempted murder of Dramico Glinton 2 days ago. It's alleged that on Wednesday, December 21st, Roll, a resident of number 16 Serville Avenue, South Beach Estates, tried to cause Glinton's death. Roll reportedly chopped Glinton about the body following a domestic dispute. Prosecutors say Glinton is still detained in serious condition in hospital. In court today, Roll's attorney requested an early date for trial, stating that he was attacked by the victim. He also indicated that after Roll reported the incident to police, they locked him up and a short time later charged him with attempted murder. The case has been adjourned to the 9th of January. 25-year-old Swenda Forbes and 18-year-old Laurencia Neely were granted bail today after pleading not guilty to a laundry list of charges. Neely, a resident of Ferguson Street, Fox Hill Road, pleaded not guilty to disorderly behavior, using obscene language, resisting arrest, and threatening to kill Chief Inspector Simmons while at the Central Police Station yesterday. Neely admitted that she assaulted Chief Inspector Simmons. Meantime, Neely's alleged co-accused, Swenda Forbes, denied that she acted in a disorderly way or used obscene language to the annoyance of Chief Inspector Simmons. Forbes was granted $2,000 bail with one surety, while Neely was granted $3,000 bail with one surety. The prosecution also dropped the threats of death charge against Neely. The pair returns to court on May 14th. The prison service welcomed 52 new employees on Thursday. Addressing the group was Minister of National Security Tommy Turnquest, who said it is clear that there is a generational shift taking place and there could be no better time than now to join the prison service. He pointed out the importance of principle in this field.
The second principle is that orderliness and discipline are signs of a well-run prison. As such, you must use your training, your common sense, and to the extent necessary, your constraining powers to ensure that good order is maintained at all times.
Mr. Turnquest said there are also some conditions which must be maintained as the institution continues to fashion a new image.
The days of hear no evil, see no evil are long gone and must never return if we are to achieve a first-class penal institution. Today's environment demands a prison service that is transparent and accountable. Good, law-abiding prison officers, who I am pleased to say are in the vast majority, must never turn a blind eye when a fellow officer attempts to traffic all manner of contraband into this facility.
Recruit Squad A spent 16 weeks in training but must still complete 8 months of probation. The prison now has approximately 450 employees.